Look at the Las Vegas Strip. Every single hotel tower, every mega resort, and every fountain is paid for by a mathematical certainty. The house always has an edge. In the long run, the casino is guaranteed to take your money. But YouTuber Airrack decided to test that certainty. He walked into a casino with a $10,000 bankroll and a secret earpiece, aiming to double his money by taking instructions directly from a team of professional gamblers. These experts are known as advantage players. Instead of relying on luck, they use highly specific, legal strategies to strip away the casino's mathematical advantage and flip the odds in their own favor. Airrack planned to use 3 escalating methods of advantage play. The goal was to see if human strategy, discipline, and skill could actually overcome the probabilistic engines designed to empty his pockets. This experiment functions as a stress test for the floor itself. It pits the rigid, impersonal mathematics of probability directly against the volatility of the human mind. The experiment starts at the lowest level of player agency, the slot machines. Guided by an expert named Professor Slots, Airrack targets highly visible, newly placed machines on the floor using a specific 5-spin method in hopes of catching a machine programmed to pay out and attract crowds. This diagram illustrates how modern slot machines actually operate. They run on a random number generator, or RNG. The outcome of a spin is mathematically sealed the microsecond you hit the button. It is entirely disconnected from where the machine sits on the floor or what happened on the previous 5 spins. Yet Airrack actually hits a $600 win. This is the danger of low-agency games. A stroke of pure luck can easily trick the brain into believing a flawed strategy is working. To find real agency, they move to level 2, craps. Here, Airrack brings in Dom Laurigio, a gambler famous for attempting physical control over the dice to avoid rolling a 7, the one number that ends a winning streak. This animation breaks down the physics of dice control. By gripping the dice in a precise arrangement and throwing them on a locked, synchronized axis, a player theoretically minimizes the number of combinations that can possibly add up to 7. But physical agency has a fatal flaw. Over hundreds of throws, human fatigue sets in. A microscopic change in the release angle destabilizes that axis, immediately reintroducing random variance, and inevitably, the number 7. As Dom's physical mechanics break down on day 2, the streak ends. They start slowly bleeding money on the table, forcing Airrack to pull the plug and walk away down hundreds of dollars. Superstition and muscle memory cannot overcome the house. To actually beat the casino, you need pure, unadulterated statistical math. That brings us to level 3, statistical agency. Airrack sits down at the blackjack table with professional gambler Mickey Moss in his ear, ready to execute a strict card counting strategy. This visualization shows how card counting actually works. Instead of memorizing every card, a player keeps a running tally of the ratio between high-value cards and low-value cards left in the dealer's shoe. When that ratio heavily favors the player, meaning the deck is dense with 10s and aces, the player spikes a mathematical weapon, capitalizing exactly when the statistical edge shifts away from the house. By following this math to the letter, Airrack crushes the table. Guided by Mickey, he escalates his bets perfectly in time with the count and pulls in $5,000 in a single run. His bankroll swells to $19,320. He has reached 93% of his goal, mathematically proving that the system can be beaten. When a statistical model completes its job, the only correct move is to cash out. But spreadsheets and probabilities fail to account for the massive dopamine flood of a winning streak. Ignoring his friend begging him to leave with a massive profit, he experiences a complete psychological shift. He abandons his experts, he abandons the math, and he refuses to walk out the door. Instead, he pivots to roulette. This is a game of pure negative expectation, with zero physical or statistical control. Driven by the fantasy of an instant massive payout to clear that final 7%, he pushes his entire $19,000 bankroll onto black. The math of the wheel is built on a deception. While it looks like a 50-50 flip between red and black, this single green pocket ensures that over time, the house takes a mathematical cut of every single bet placed on the table. The ball lands on green. It's a 2% probability. In an instant, 2 days of rigorous advantage play and the entire bankroll are completely wiped out. It took 2 days of disciplined execution to build a 1% mathematical edge in blackjack, It took 10 seconds of impulsive greed to hand all of it back to the house. The math exists to beat the casino, but the house's ultimate invincible edge is never the cards or the dice. It is the human inability to walk away.